Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I thought I would sit down and do a video for you guys and gals. Get a sip of my water. Get my radio voice going. Let's talk a little bit about training volume. Look, I'm going to give you guys, again, very practical advice for training volume. This assumes that our goal is hypertrophy, right? If your goal is strength, you probably need to do some heavy singles. Be a real good idea. But that can be done on top of the hypertrophy work. All right, size. Look, in spite of all of these debates about the scientific literature and what the most extreme volumes a person can get away with, lengthened partials, contracted position movements, all this debate back and forth, we have some pretty good ideas from enough studies that were done over the years. We also have practical applications to think about, various overtraining, overuse. Look, I'm going to give you guys some very simple rules, and I'm going to say that for 95% of you, this will work perfect. 95%, you might be 5% who fall in a different category due to goal reasons, lifestyle, genetics, all these other things. So again, someone says, oh, I'm an outlier and this is not optimal for what I'm doing. Okay, fine, whatever, man. You're a unique, special snowflake, right? You're an alien. I don't know. Whatever your explanation is, you're some sort of, alien human hybrid or something. You're an exception to the rule. Okay, that's cool. But for everybody else, here's what I'm going to say. For your volume, if you do somewhere between 10 and 15 sets per muscle group a week, somewhere in that range, that is probably where you want to be. And I'm going to throw some caveats in, assuming they are hard sets. What do I mean by hard sets? Within one rep of failure, right? You could maybe squeeze out one more good rep, and then you would fail or have to really grind. They could also be 0 reps in reserve to where the last rep moves a little slow and you know you can't do another one. Or on some exercises, it could be failure. A lot of your small movements, it makes sense to hit failure. Particular movements, it's safe too. A barbell row, a pull-up, a curl, those are all safe. Leg extensions, yeah, you can go ahead and take all those to failure, not a big deal. But we mean failure, not grinding out bad reps. Failure means you go to do a rep with the same form and the weight just doesn't move. That's failure, okay? All right, 10 to 15 sets. Work sets, quality sets, anywhere between 1 rep in reserve up to failure. Any set that doesn't fall in that category, just don't count it. There you go. It's real simple. Well, whether I count this, just don't count it. All right. All right. How often should you train each muscle? Once or twice a week. Now, if you can do the 10 sets. Some people can do really good on that. Maybe even less volume on a 3-day-a-week program. Notice I'm not going to tell you to train 5 or 6. I don't think you need to. I don't think for 99% of the population training more than 4 days a week is necessary or even beneficial. Go do some cardio. You know what? Go for a jog if you want more exercise than that. You don't need to be lifting weights. You're not going to gain muscle from it. You're probably not. All you do is beat your connective tissue up. That's why I want to curl every day. Well, don't cry when you tear a bicep tendon or it gets inflamed. You get golfer's elbow. It's your own damn fault. Again, just telling it like it is. Don't cry when things go bad. I did this nuclear fission overload training. Okay, fine. When you get tendonitis, don't cry to me about it because I told your dumb ass not to do it. All right, 3 or 4 days a week, whatever. You can do push-pull legs 3 times a week. You could do upper, lower 4-day. They both work, whatever. Just get those number of sets in. How many exercises per muscle? At least 2, right? 2 different exercises. So if you do an upper, lower, what does that mean? For your chest, you could do 3 sets of flat bench, 3 sets of incline both days. You just got 2 exercises, 12 sets for your pecs. Should we do compound or isolation? I don't care. You can do both. You know what? If you have muscles that it makes sense to isolate to work angles or heads you missed with the compound, by all means. And maybe that's one where, let's say you're doing twice a week and you're doing 2 exercises. Maybe you need to get to that 15 sets. Maybe that muscle needs 15. Okay. So let's say for your triceps, you're like, I'm not getting enough long head. Those are tricep exercises. That long head, go fine. Throw in 3 exercises to hit the long head as an isolation. Problem solved. You're still within my guidelines. It was still 15 sets for triceps. Because again, guys, well, I'm not sure if it works all of it. Well, okay. Then pick an isolation that does. If you follow the other guidelines, you're in that 10 to 12 sets and you need to add a single joint exercise, an isolation movement, add one. No. Now, granted, that would probably take your sets up past 15. You do it both days. But if you're convinced that the muscle got underworked, all right, it's still close enough. Because I would say that as far as volume for, let's say you have a muscle that's lagging, it could be your biceps, it could be your calves. If they need a few more sets, that's fine, but keep them under 20, right? Maybe you do have a muscle that lags and it needs a little more attention. Okay, throw an extra isolation in once or twice a week. See how simple this is? Just some loose guidelines. At least 2 exercises. In some cases, you might need a third for a lagging muscle. It might need a little more volume. Keep everything else about 10 to 12. Then you can go 15 or a little more for your lagging, your worst muscles. 1 or 2 of them in your body. Okay. Take your sets close to failure or right to failure. Don't train like a little pussy. Now, if you take that advice I gave, and you use good form, you don't grind and do stupid stuff, you use decent form, you don't get major overuse issues. Again, train hard, but not like an idiot. Don't do stupid stuff. Don't lift like Sam Saluk, already tearing his pecs and stuff. Train with decent form, through decent range of motion. Follow those guidelines I gave you. Do that for the next 10 years. Most of you will do pretty dang good. Just that advice I gave, for the overwhelming majority of you, you will stimulate 90% or more of the possible gains you could get with relatively low risk of overuse, relatively low risk of overtraining. This is practical advice. It works. It will work for pretty much everybody with a tiny number of exceptions. I get it, you got a herniated disc. I get it, you are part alien, whatever your reason is. Okay, that's cool. If you have a disease that prevents, okay, that's cool. You're the exception. You might have to adjust a little bit. But for the majority of you, I promise you, you're not a special snowflake. That advice will get you there. It's very straightforward, very simple. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. Hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.